I'm just glad Jared's the one that's done all the fan wiring, because a little over my head.
I just see pretty wires.
About 2 feet over my head, too. Well, that didn't take long. 4 or 5 days into harvest, and we already got rained out. We go from talking about how dry it is to, I think, what's today? Third weekday we've been rained out. Beans might be out for a little bit. We may end up having to switch over to corn in order to get in the next few days. But this is our spare sickle bar for the bean planter.
For the what?
Bean planter. I never caught that. For the bean head. This is what happens when you have an amazing combine operator like Dad that doesn't hit very many rocks. So he actually wears he got tired of waiting. Actually wears the... You're good. You're good. Go ahead. Actually wears the blades out before we have to replace them because they're broke. Ow! Let them work on that a little bit. Dustin, we're all in the shop this morning. I'm just roaming around. I'm the only one really not working. Dustin's been putting some serious hours on this chopper. A few. Time for an oil change.
That's almost 1,600.
Huh?
And I think when I got in it, it had 900. So
This year,
almost 600 hours on it.
Well, we got this. I think this is the 3rd year on it, and we bought it with like 150 hours on it, and we're up over 1,500 hours already. And the only thing this tractor does is run an auger in the fall sometimes and mow. So that shows you how many hours we spend doing that. Nice. I think Dustin said that tractor takes 4.2 gallons. So either you time it right or you stop it when it overflows. That's close enough.
And you said it was 0?
Reset, yep. I guess I didn't make sure you had your plug in already before I started. Hey, right at the full mark. Gonna do a little TLC on this hood because kind of free falls right now. Figure out Dustin's fancy little latch.
She's temperamental. Gotta be gentle with her.
Now we gotta get up in there and get those things out. Yeah, I think that's our problem.
Blooper reel.
Nope, that's going in.
I think so.
Yeah, I don't think there's much gas shock left of that thing. There you go, sir. They sure do make these fun to get to. Ta-da! Check this out. Look at that. Dustin won't have to worry about getting crushed when he checks the oil anymore.
Cover that I
That's still on order. Yeah, Dustin had a brain fart checking screens. You gotta pull this off, set it on the tire, check your screen, Well, then when you don't put that back on and then you run it over and then chop it up, it doesn't fit back on very well.
I just let more airflow in the machine.
Yeah, but hey.
She was struggling to breathe the other day, and I gave her some more airflow.
Opened it up a little. Well, there's your guys' weekly dose of Dustin to show that he didn't quit on us. Won't see him again till probably close to 5 o'clock tonight. Well, those 2 sickle bars are ready to go back in the bean head whenever we wear out the one that's in it now. As far as next project, we have a grain bin, smaller grain bin that a landlord actually owns, that they put a new unload auger in, and we have yet to, we kind of forgot about it, to wire up the motor. So that's where I'm headed. Make sure I take enough tools and don't have to make 13 trips back to the shop just to get a little wiring project done. Alright, I threw a bunch of random stuff in this bag. Probably won't need half of it, but probably still forgot at least one thing. It never fails. No project can ever be done in one trip around here. But hey, you always gotta try. Well, all is normal in the world. Stopped by the hardware on my way to the bin to pick up a couple fittings that I needed for our 1/2-inch conduit to connect it to the boxes. And guess what? They didn't have any 1/2-inch fittings. But they did have 3/4. And I've got a short stretch of 3/4 at the shop. So it looks like I'm already making a trip back to the shop for the 3/4 to make it work, and I didn't even make it to the bin. There it is. And the main reason I didn't grab it in the first place is because I'm not 100% convinced it's going to be long enough. It's been a while since I've been by this farm. Looks like we lost a dead tree. Even ended up getting into the barn a little bit, or the bin. Looks like just a few beauty marks though. Nothing that'll hurt anything. And it's a terrible tree too because it was dead. So when it hit the ground, it just shattered. They're really a pain to clean up. We'll let them wrangle that. Let's get started wiring up this motor. It's actually I'm not gonna say it, or I'm going to. Should be a pretty easy one. I'm not gonna mess with the box at all. I'm gonna leave this, it's still good. Still good. I'm just gonna put this in conduit, run it into the back of the motor, wire it up, and she should be ready to roll. There we go. Bigger than that. Good thing I brought both step bits. These things are pretty cool. And then simply take that . And just like that, I've got a watertight fitting that I can build right into there. Now this goes smoothly in my mind, but we'll see how smoothly this feeds through. It's got a nice smooth metal inside, so thoughts are it should feed smoothly. I can hear it. It's got to be getting close. Beautiful. Alright, well, should be a pretty easy wiring. All I gotta do is get my ground under there. Tighten that sucker down. 1 and 5 go to 1 power. 4 goes to B. Last but not least, I think J and 8 go together, which this is J and this is 8. Look at that. It's the last 2 lines I got. Alright, well, before I close that all up, let's give her a test run. See if she works or see if she blows. She works! Other than bringing back a couple P clamps to kind of hold it down here and here, we got power and she's ready to go. Bin's already been cleaned out and sprayed by the guys earlier, so this bin's ready to go for fall. Well, guys finished cleaning up that tree too. So, I mean, could you count that as one? You probably could, but I'm gonna count that as 2 check marks. 2 projects done. Time to go to our main grain setup, which just so happens to be right across the road. Gas company was setting our propane tanks. That way we would have gas for our dryer again, because there's a chance if things stay a little damp, a little wet, we may end up switching to corn here in the next day or 2. And definitely gonna be wet enough we're gonna need the dryer.
Jared's running back to the shop to pick up a timer that we need to put on that second bin fan so that the bin fans don't, when you kick one on, they both don't start at the same time on our automatic control. Kyle and I are going to go ahead and button up this dryer, check chains, and make sure it's ready to run corn. If we don't have any beans that'll run tomorrow, we're probably going to try to shell a little corn. We got a few flaps here that we keep open during the winter, and get those put back in, and a couple shields to remove and get all the bird nest out of it.
Possibly raccoon.
Yeah, and yeah, had a raccoon in this one a couple years ago. Talk about a surprise when you take off the cover.
Little buddy drop out.
So then we get that done. We'll go ahead and fire it up now that we finally got our gas hooked back up today. Still don't have any electrical on our wet holding bin, so if we run corn, we'll have to go ahead and run like we always have with the overhead, which is why we kept it hooked up. Just gives us some options. That's all there is to that.
Do that a bunch more times. We got a mouse. Lost lost him. He went somewhere. Anyway, now we're doing the other side.
Get it?
Got it. Birdie ain't got no home. Ow! Don't sit on that. Doesn't feel good.
Okay, we'll clean up our bird nest mess. Be about ready to fire it up. Okay, we're gonna see if we can get power.
Ooh. What was that 1980s movie where he accidentally hacked NASA?
Oh,
like a video game?
War
War Game?
War Games or something like that. Yeah.
That's what that reminded me of. Looks like the old 80s PC.
Yeah.
Loading up.
So set up, we need to disable the air switch so that when it doesn't feel pressure, it shuts the fans down. There's one.
It's fanning.
There's two. He's in his own little world.
What?
You're in your own little world.
I'm making sure I kill the power before I electrocute myself at 480 volts. Thought it'd be the safe thing to do.
Just a tingle.
It's just a little tingle.
It's just a flesh wound.
Try burners.
Check them.
Yeah. Boom, there went one. There went two. Man, you can already feel the heat off that. Get those shut off. Okay, let's try the unload auger on manual. Oh. That. What you doing, Kyle? Meter rolls are running. We need to check. It had a pretty good squall to it, so we'll make sure we don't have a bearing going out. Doesn't sound very good, so we'll shut that off, and they're not too hard to change. Didn't sound good though. Not good at all. Yeah, let's pull. I think there's 4 bolts. We'll pull this shield off. The bearing would be, this would be the bearing.
Yeah.
Right here's the one I'm talking about. Tends to, a lot of moisture blowing through it. Alright, so looks like we're good here. There wasn't any issues. Once we got it opened up, everything was fine. I think the dryer's good. Go over here and see what Jared's doing. Well, we know what he's doing. He's got our automatic control system. We never had got this second fan wired.
I got about a 20% certainty of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
The only other one that one has that this one doesn't have is something plugged into the A2. So I'm thinking about just tapping into there and seeing what happens. More or less, it's a 50-50 shot right now.
I'm assuming you turned power off again.
Yes. That or I've gotten lucky not to hit anything.
Well, if you hadn't, I just wanted to make sure I stepped away.
Stepped away.
Do you have any other power coming off the timer?
No, I got power going into it, and then it jumps. And then it's something funky here that just matches the other one? I don't know. We'll find out. Let me go hit power.
I don't know what's going on. They're all just cute wires to me.
All right. So I'm going to turn it on real quick. That one's going to kick on, and then there should be about a 7-second delay, and then the one that I just wired up should turn on. I got it. I figured it out. But I gotta shut everything down again.
What was the problem?
Out of the box, this is on the wrong, this should be on channel A. Okay, let's try this all again. Well guys, we've been sitting here for probably what? Hour and a half at this point since our last attempt to try and get the automation to work, and it seems like something's down on their end, so nothing on our phone is communicating with our system on site here. So at the moment there's nothing I can do about it, but I will come back when I can tell on my phone that it's been fixed, and I'll put that video in right here. Alright, well, back the next day and everything seems to have cleared out on the automation part. So, moment of truth, I'm going to kick it on, and like I said previously, that one will kick on first, and then we'll have a 10-second delay, and this one should kick on. So, here goes nothing. Start fan. Oh, see, it's counting. Hey! She works! Alright, let's kick him back off. Boom. Alright, so that's a successful test. Now back to our regularly scheduled programming. Hopefully you guys just saw that bin fan working. Hopefully my wiring was correct and nothing exploded. Kyle, did you know? Octopuses?
Octopi.
No, actually online it said octopuses. I thought it was octopi too.
Anyway, go on.
Anyway, regardless of who's right on that one, I don't really know. Do you know they have 3 hearts?
Mm-hmm.
No, you didn't.
And a beak. They do. They do. They have a beak.
I can't refute that one because I really don't know. And blue blood.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason you know that is because I already told you the fact earlier. You did not know that.
I did know they have blue blood. I didn't know about the hearts. You
well,
didn't know about the beak.
No, I did not. But
Yeah,
hope you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't. And as always, see you in the next one.